Are you a fan of college athletics? If you are, you're not alone. According to a study that was done by Learfield Sports Management Group in 2021, they found that over 182 million Americans claim to have a favorite collegiate sports team. So it's a very big part of the American way of life, something that many people are drawn to, and I believe they're drawn to it because of its purity, because of the athlete's pure love of the game. But that's in danger. That's becoming less and less because more and more athletes are just worried about money and not about the love of the game. And I believe that it's putting this college sports scene as we know it in danger. And so my hope and goal today is to convince you why college athletes should not be paid. And we're going to talk about why I believe that the desire for compensation is ruining the allure of college athletics. We're going to talk about why I think that compensation is handled in other ways, there's different methods of compensation, and then we're going to end talking about how I believe that this desire for compensation can have a negative effect on universities and sports programs within those universities. So college athletes today, they are very money driven. It's all about the money. They want to be paid for what they do, and they think that they're pretty great at what they do. And this is an attitude that I think is wrong. You're a student first and an athlete second, not the other way around. And so I think that their focus has become solely upon the money, and it's not a good thing. You see it in the NBA. College basketball players declare early for the NBA draft, and they don't get drafted, or they play overseas and they don't make good money. High school baseball players have full ride Division I scholarships on the line, and they don't take advantage of those to try and go pro, only to play in the minor leagues their whole career, not make good money. And so the desire for money ultimately ends up being a bad thing. And it's ruining college sports. All of our favorite sports teams that we love to watch, the players leave early, and for what? For nothing. Nothing good comes of it for the most part. So it's a problem that's very real, and I think it can be avoided. And there's other ways to compensate these individuals and get them to stay in college. And one of those ways is through scholarships, whether full ride or partial. And according to an article that was written by ncsasports.org, on average annually, there's over $2.7 billion that are awarded to Division I schools to give scholarships to their student athletes. And so that is a hefty chunk of change that gets given to these athletes. And a full ride scholarship covers your room, your board, your tuition, tutoring, meals. It covers all of that. And so for that reason alone, I believe that education is a great way. It's compensation in full. And education is something that you'd be able to take with you for the rest of your life, even long after your playing days are over. And another way that athletes are being compensated nowadays is through what's called NIL. Now, NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. And there's a big debate going on right now. People saying that NIL is you're just paying athletes. And that's partially true, but it's not completely true. And I'm going to explain to you why. There was an article written on jobsinsports.com. And I'm going to quote directly from that article. It says, picture this. Instead of receiving a set salary from their universities, college athletes can now capitalize on their hard work, dedication, and talent by signing endorsement deals, participating in advertisements, and even launching their own businesses. This opportunity provides a level of financial freedom and independence that was previously unheard of in the world of collegiate sports. And so it's different from just receiving a set salary in the fact that they're creating their own personal brand. They're learning entrepreneurship skills. They're creating businesses. They're starting businesses. They're learning how to be responsible. They're learning how to manage their money and their assets. They're learning to prove their worth. They're learning the value of hard work. They're not just receiving a set salary. And so I firmly believe that these are two ways of the many that athletes are compensated other than receiving a salary. And so let's kind of shift gears a little bit, and I want to take this to more of a personal level. So let's imagine for a minute that your son or daughter has received a full ride scholarship to play a sport at a university. And shortly before they're set to go to school, they get a notice in the mail saying that unfortunately we have decided to end this particular sports program where we've decided to revoke your scholarship for lack of funding, or we need it for something else. How would that make you feel? How would that make your son or daughter feel? That would be devastating. And I firmly believe that's a situation that's going to be playing out more and more as we get further into this, because let's face it, the highest revenue producing sports are always going to get the most money. Sports like football and basketball, baseball, those are the ones that are going to get the most money. The lower producing revenue sports, if there's a shortage of money, those are going to get cut. And that's a sad reality that I don't think needs to be faced, because there's other ways to compensate these athletes like we've talked about. And so, in closing, what can you and I do? What can we do to change this, to fix this? The first thing that you can do is do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. There's many different ways to research NIL, and its pluses and minuses, and its advantages and disadvantages. If you go to on3.com/NIL, you'll be able to find the information for the NIL of your school and how you can help donate and get involved with these athletes and help them further their personal brands. And so I would encourage you all to do this. I would encourage you to get involved in that way, to do your own research, because if you love college athletics, then I firmly believe that college athletics is being ruined by this desire for money. And the only way to curb this desire for money is to help keep these kids in school by offering them scholarships and through NIL deals. And so I hope that you have been able to be persuaded to believe along with me that college athletes should not be paid.